Testing. 1, 2, 3. Okay, guys. So, I guess I owe you a little bit of an update. Last weekend, we were supposed to go to the drag strip. We had a little issue with that. We actually did go. We did not get to run. I wanted to kind of talk about that a little bit. I also want to talk about what I have gotten done this week and about what I plan to do this weekend. So first off, what happened last weekend? Guys, I want to start off by saying this had nothing to do with English Mountain. I actually saw some people that were kind of aggravated on English Mountain's Facebook page, not because of me, just because of the way, you know, things were run last Friday and Saturday night. And guys, what you got to understand, there was an event going on. It was not really a track rental, but basically when they've got an event going on that's, you know, that's created by someone else, it's ran by someone else too. So whoever's running the event, it's their rules, okay? So that's what I'm gonna kind of talk about a little bit. Last weekend, they had an event down there. It's a guy, Block, from North Carolina, Block Motorsports or whatever. If you haven't heard of him, well, I mean, basically the guy's been on Street Outlaws, Memphis Street Outlaws a couple times. That's really the way anybody would know him. Well, he decided to throw a little event there. They had a street class, small tire, and run what you brung. Well, they did the street and the small tire last Friday. Last Saturday, they were supposed to, or I'm sorry, they did the street and the run what you brung class last Friday. Then last Saturday, they were supposed to have the small tire class. None of this was supposed to start until about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So obviously, you know, Chaos Theory here has no prayer in hell hanging with any of those guys. They had Billy from the Street Racing channel. I actually shared it on the Facebook group, guys. But you can go to Street Racing channel on YouTube and check out the video that Billy did. You know, he does really good racing videos. He's a lot better at editing than I am, that's for sure. But anyway, you know, they had a couple guys down there that were fairly well known. They also had the Murder Mullet, which I also posted pictures of on Facebook and Instagram. And, you know, it's a 3rd gen Camaro, big turbo LS car. Pretty cool guy. I got to meet him, real nice guy. But anyway, the point is, they were having that event going on. So my whole idea was, we were going to put the car on the trailer. We were going to drive to English Mountain. I was going to try to make some passes at English Mountain. You know, both NA now that we got the bigger cam in, and also on the Nitrous now that I think we got the Nitrous working correctly. Well, that didn't really work out, because what happened was when I got there, it turns out that Block guy had decided he didn't want anybody on the track before the racing started. Well, the wife and I had plans for later that night. I was planning on getting there about 1:30, which we did, and you know, having all my test hits and stuff and just getting data. I was planning on having all that done before 4 o'clock when the actual racing started. And then we were going to pack up and leave because we had a kidless weekend, and you know, we were going to go out on a date. We don't get a lot of that. But what happened is when I got there, come to find out, like I just said, Block was not allowing anybody to do any test and tune before the racing. Which, you know, pretty much what happened, guys, is I never even took the car off the trailer. We hung out for a couple hours till it was time for us to go. The racing still hadn't started yet, and like I said, we had a date plan, so we went ahead and left, having never even took the car off the trailer. Now, the hate, I saw a lot of people complaining. Apparently the races ended up not starting till several hours after it was supposed to start. I just want to defend English Mountain a little bit here and say, guys, that had nothing to do with English Mountain. That was all Block, okay? That was his event. He was the one running it. He was the one making the rules. So, you know, for you guys that were leaving the nasty comments on English Mountain's Facebook page, you're directing your comments at the wrong person, okay? Those were not their rules. That was not their event. They were basically letting him use the track. So, please, guys, if you're one of those people, you know, don't leave stuff like that, especially when it's an event that's, you know, being done by some other person and not the track itself. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say about that, guys. I just wanted to kind of clear the air. A bunch of you guys asked me why I didn't go to the track last weekend. Well, I did. You know, we walked around for a couple hours, talked to some people, met some people, and, you know, then we left because we had other plans. So I'm sorry about that. But the good news is we're planning on going to the track Friday, which by the time you see this video will probably be tomorrow. Now, we are not going to English Mountain. We're actually going to be going to Knoxville for the test and tune night tomorrow after work. Guys, I have no time or no idea what time I'm going to be there. Please don't ask because I don't know. Because of my job, it's just whenever I finish working on Friday, you know, we'll load the car on the trailer and we'll head to Knoxville drag strip. But as long as the weather's good, I will be there Friday night. And we're going to do everything that we planned to do at English Mountain last Saturday, which is you know, we're going to make a NA pass and, you know, see what the car is doing, what the new cam did for the car. And then after that, we're going to start spraying. I'm going to start small, work my way big, as long as I don't get kicked out for not having a cage. I'm really hoping that there's not a huge crowd of people running there because, you know, I mean, I'd like to make at least 4 or 5 passes. And I know the last time we went to Knoxville, it was so crowded. I mean, it literally took all night to get 4 runs in. So hopefully we can move things along a little more quickly, you know, just get this thing figured out. And then if it does not rain, then Saturday I'm planning on taking the car to English Mountain and maybe playing around a little bit up there. That brings me to another question you guys keep asking me about: why have I been going to Knoxville, not to English Mountain? I've went over this several times. A lot of it has to do with my trailer, the tires that are on it. After we had that blowout, it kind of made me paranoid. I still haven't replaced all the tires. I've only replaced 2 of them. But, you know, English Mountain is a lot further from me than Knoxville is. The second reason is because Uncle Ray lives very close to Knoxville, so it's a lot easier for him to come out there and, you know, be with me out there and hang out with me, help me work on the car if I need it. And the third reason is pretty simple, guys. It's traction. English Mountain is a no prep track. That's what they're known for. You know, some people hate it, some people love it. I personally love it. I will say this: I have more fun when I go to English Mountain than I do when I go to Knoxville. When I go to Knoxville, I'm mainly all business. I'm just trying to get data, you know, get my tune on whatever vehicle I'm there in. I'm just trying to get everything squared away. When I go to English Mountain, I'm more laid back and, you know, more about having fun. The reason I go to Knoxville is because being a prep track, it's easier for me to hook up, and that makes it easier for me to get data, okay? The whole plan with that is I go to Knoxville, I get the car dialed in, and I can see what the car's capable of, you know, with traction. Then, once I know what the car's capable of, that's when I'll start going to English Mountain again and try to get the suspension dialed in to hook up there. I hope that makes sense, guys. You know, basically I'm using Knoxville to max the car out, and then I go to English Mountain where it's no prep, and I'm just up there to have fun, race people, have a good time. With that being said, this is primarily just an update video, not going to be a lot of action, but I do want to show you guys some stuff that I've got that well, if you're following me on Instagram or on Facebook, you already know about some of this stuff, but I'm just going to go ahead and lay it out there, I guess. So first off, for you guys who think I don't read my comments, I really do. One of you guys a few videos back had made the comment that my A-pillar trim on the driver's side, that my A-pillar trim looked like it was falling down, and you're right, it was. So what ended up happening is there are a bunch of different clips that hold this A-pillar trim up. Some of them are like this, and they were broken, and then it takes 2 of these, and this guy, well, you can see it from the angle there, it was smashed over, so it wasn't going into the hole, and then the other one was just completely missing. So as you can see here, I ordered a whole pack of these guys, and they actually came in today. These are supposed to be here tomorrow, I believe. So once those come in, you know, that'll get fixed up. And thank you for pointing that out. I actually didn't even notice it, man. I mean, when I'm in the car, I'm really not staring at the A-pillar, but apparently one of you was staring at the A-pillar and noticed that it was flopping around. So we're getting that fixed. Probably just going to leave it off for the weekend, but if these clips, if they come in tomorrow or Friday, then, you know, we'll go ahead and get it shoved in before we go to the track. Something else I got that a lot of you guys recommended is we finally got a trailer brake controller here for the Abbey and got that installed. Guys, I was gonna actually do a video on that, and I did get the Prodigy too. I was gonna do a video on this controller, hooking it up, but the fact of the matter is, in these late model GM vehicles, they already come pre-wired for a trailer brake controller, guys. I mean, the wiring is already in the dash. All you have to do is pull it down and hook it up, and the wiring, you know, both the power wires are already in the fuse block out there. All you have to do is pull them out of the harness, and there's 2 prongs on the fuse block to hook them to. So there are tons and tons of videos on YouTube already about that. It was a pretty simple process. The whole process took me about 15 minutes to install this thing, so I really didn't think it was worth doing a video on. The last thing I got, and it just came in today, I ordered another bottle heater from Pro Nitrous. You can see that right there, Pro Nitrous bottle heater. Now, if you guys remember, we installed one of these Pro Nitrous bottle heaters in the China Vet too. The one that we got for the China Vet was actually a little bigger, and it was black instead of orange. So when this one first came in the mail, I was like, what the heck is this? You know, to be honest, I was kind of disappointed when it first got here, because it's smaller in size, so it doesn't cover as much of the bottle. I don't really care about the orange thing, don't really care how it looks, but you know, I was kind of like, why did they switch? Well, once I got it wired up and turned it on, I figured out why. Because guys, this little bottle heater here, it heats up way faster and appears to like disperse the heat better than the black one that I ordered and installed on the China Vet like 2 years ago. And I am not sponsored by Pro Nitrous, guys, okay? I buy this stuff with my own money, and you know, I'm not trying to kiss butt here. I mean, this thing's hot. Like it's within probably a minute of turning it on, I couldn't touch it anymore. That's how hot it got. And I guess it's my understanding this is like a foil type heater, so the whole heater heats up, where I think the old one was like a wire type heater, so it had wires going through it, so it would get hot in spots, but the whole heater itself wouldn't really get that hot, if that makes sense. So guys, I ran this. I wanted to check the wiring, make sure it wasn't going to melt down or anything. I'll go over that in a second. But I ran this thing for about 10 minutes, and this whole bottle is hot. I mean, hot. Like I don't want to crack it open and waste any nitrous, because I only got a half a bottle. But I would say I'm probably, as warm as this bottle is, I'm probably well over 1,000 PSI right now. Like I would have to purge it down if I was racing tonight. So just to let you know, you know, these Pro Nitrous heaters here, they're only $34. That's just for the heater itself. You know, it doesn't come with a relay or anything. They're on eBay. I could throw a link in the video description if you guys want me to, or you know, you can just go check out the China Vet video where I actually did the whole install for you, and you know, there's links to everything I used in that video. But speaking of bottle heater wiring, that brings me to this shoddy clusterfuck over here that you guys see. I actually posted some pictures of this on Instagram. I think it was yesterday, maybe the day before. This is just temporary, guys. Now, I added a fuel pump relay because I didn't think the factory wiring coming from the front of the car, or coming from the Holly, I didn't know if it would hold enough amps. So I added a fuel pump relay with 12 gauge wires here. I'm going to be switching the fuel pump relay over to one of these guys that have the fuses built in. I've got like 6 of these. I'd thought about just building a relay panel like we did on the China Vet and mounting it back here, because before I'm done, there's going to be a relay for a bottle heater. There's going to be a relay, or 2 relays for fuel pumps, 3 relays, I'm sorry, because we're going to be running this fuel pump, which is the Amazon 340 fuel pump that I installed several videos back just to see if it would work. Well, it's doing fan-freaking-tastic. So we're going to leave that in the main gas tank, and we're going to actually do like a sump tank, or not a sump tank, what's it called? A surge tank with the two Walbro 450s that I showed you guys a while back in it. So what we'll have here is we'll still have this relay for the main fuel pump, and then we'll have two more relays for the two Walbro 450s. And what I'm going to do, I don't want to build a relay panel with a separate fuse box. So since I've got these relays here that have the fuse built in, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut me a board out of plastic, similar, well, actually I'll probably use a piece of the plastic we had left over from doing the Holly Dash install, and I'll just use all these relays. And I'm going to have I've actually already ordered the parts, guys. I ordered a distribution block for the power side and a distribution block for the ground. So we'll have the distribution blocks, and then we'll just have all the relays lined up here on the board, and you know, that's how we'll do it back here. That way it'll clean up all the wiring, and I'll just use all ground triggers to go to the front of the car. So, you know, we won't have to run a bunch of extra power wires to the front, since all the accessories that this board is going to be controlling are back here, you know, fuel pumps and whatnot. And then you guys might remember, I actually showed you a while back my little Nitrous panel. This was the Nitrous panel that used to be in the ashtray of Project Steppenwolf that, you know, we made. You know, and it's all, you can hear the purge saw on the way clicking. You know, this is like a temporary setup, but we've got our arm switch for the Nitrous here. We've got our purge, and then, you know, I don't have a bottle opener, and then we went ahead and hooked up our new bottle heater relay to the heater switch there. So I think what I'm going to do, guys, now I'm going to tell you this, even after we go to twin turbos this winter, I'm still going to keep one kit of Nitrous on this car. I really wanted to run two kits before we did the switch over, but with my job and everything, you know, all the delays we've had, I don't know if I'll get back to the track with two kits before we switch over to turbos this winter. But I'm going to do my best, guys. You know, I've already got two more Nitrous kits sitting over here, so I may throw one on as a dry shot now that the Holly seems to be working right. I'm not sure, but since we are keeping, you know, one Nitrous kit on here even after we switch to twin turbos, and I also want to add some switches for some other things, like maybe something to override and kick the cooling fans on if I really want them. You know, a switch for the transmission cooler that we're going to be installing. Stuff like that. I think what I'm going to do, I haven't decided yet if it's going to be, I'm going to make a switch panel is what I'm getting at, guys. And I haven't decided yet if I want to put it here or if I want to mount the switch panel inside the console here so it's not out in the open. Or the last idea that I had, since we've got the Holly Dash now, I really don't need this big monster tack anymore. So what I thought about doing is getting rid of the monster tack and making a switch panel to mount right here under the vents, because we've got this whole open space here. So I could just mount a rocker switch panel right here, and you know, that would be easy to access from the driver's seat there. So I don't know, guys, but when I decide what to do, obviously you guys will see it in the video. To be honest, you'll probably see it on Instagram first, because that's kind of what I've been doing lately, guys. Yeah, if you've got an Instagram account, make sure you follow me. It's the Bad Luck Garage on Instagram. So I generally, you guys who already follow me know, I generally post up pictures and stuff as I'm doing things. The videos come later. So if you kind of want to stay on top of what's going on over here, Instagram or the Facebook group is the way to do it. So that's pretty much got all that covered, guys. I do want to say I have been driving this car around, actually. Not a lot, but a lot more than you would think I would be. You know, the tune's pretty well dialed in, part throttle, as far as I can tell. Wide open, it seems pretty good too. I actually went back, my previous fuel maps and ignition maps in the tune, I had it where it maxed out at 7,000. Well, sometimes because of the way this transmission shifts, it's delayed after I bump it up a gear. Sometimes it revs over 7,000. And I think when you do that, the Holley just uses the last known setting when it runs off the map like that. So I did go back, I redid my fuel maps and my ignition maps, and scaled them all the way out to 8,000 RPMs instead of 7,000. So that did kind of affect the fueling a little bit, but I think I pretty much got it worked out, because I made a couple wide open throttle pulls after that. And guys, this Holley is amazing. I want to say that. I mean, coming from HP tuners and stock ECUs or PCMs where, I would have to make a couple wide open throttle pulls and then go in and change everything and then go make a couple more and go in. This thing is awesome, man. I mean, it makes the changes. It goes ahead and uses those changes, and you just drive it. And then when you feel like it, you can go ahead and copy the tables over. Just all you do is hit apply to base, and it applies all those changes to your base fuel maps, and everything ends up spot on. When we first installed it, I had a lot of issues with that whole system. It wasn't working properly. I honestly have no clue why it suddenly decided to start working properly, but it's doing great now as far as I can tell, and I'm loving it. Not only will I never do another swap with a stock PCM, honestly, if I could afford it, I would swap over the Nova to like a Terminator X Max or something right now, but maybe that'll happen in the future. I don't know. But I know this video isn't very exciting. I just kind of wanted to let you guys know what was going on, why you haven't seen a video of this thing at the track in the last couple weeks, and what's coming up this weekend. So I'll say it once again, just in case you didn't hear it the first time. I am going to be at Knoxville Dragway this Friday night. Not sure of the time. Just whenever I get off work, I'll get loaded up and go out there. So maybe I'll see some of you guys there. Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Then get out in the garage, get something done, and I'll see you next time here on Bad Luck Garage.